What can you tell me about Edna?
Mrs. Citizen Brown? Oh, she's a wonderful woman. People just think of her as this sweet, self-effacing grandmotherly type.
Edna? Are we talking about the same?
But really, she's just as involved in running the town as her husband is.
Have you ever spent time with Citizen Brown?
Well, of course I'm in the audience for every one of his public addresses.
One-on-one, I mean.
Oh, no. He'd never notice a common Sector L citizen like me. But I dream that someday he'll recognize me for my public service and maybe let me shake his hand.
David and Linda.
Have you heard from them?
No, I thought maybe you had.
Not in ages. As far as I know, he's still working for the big city newspaper, and she's still in that women's boarding house. I'll never understand why they decided to leave Hill Valley. Something on your mind?
How exactly does this setup work?
I'm glad to see you taking an interest. Each of these monitors is connected to multiple cameras, of which I've strategically jacked into throughout the valley, with official clearance, of course. I can switch between cameras with these buttons. There's also a VCR for each monitor. I keep a record of everything I see, so if I happen across something intriguing, I can keep it on file.
Hill Valley has a lot of rules.
It certainly does, for our own good.
Public kissing is illegal, right?
Ah, the old PDA law. Indeed it is. And what's more, violation carries a hefty load of demerits. But you know, it's a law people break with surprising regularity. Why, I could show you videotaped evidence.
How exactly do people get other people to break it?
On second thought, perhaps I shouldn't show you the videotaped evidence.
If I got caught with a contraband item, I'd get in a lot of trouble, right?
You certainly would. You could be facing up to 1,000 demerits, depending on the item. But of course, you wouldn't be caught dead with anything illegal. It's your mother I'm worried about.
If I got caught with a contraband item, I'd get in a lot of trouble, right?
You certainly would. You could be facing up to 1,000 demerits, depending on the item. But of course, you wouldn't be caught dead with anything illegal. It's your mother I'm worried about.
Did you ever harbor a dangerous animal?
Aha! Couldn't if I wanted to. They've all been banned. But I did catch something very interesting on one of my monitors yesterday. Which one was it? Oh, yes! Does that look like a stray dog to you? Whatever it is, Edna's Animal Patrol will make short work of it. Something on your mind?
Well, I'll leave you to your snooping.
Supervising, son. Supervising.
I'll leave you to it.
Right.
Good morning, Mrs. Brown.
Greetings, programs. LeBrock 2.0. Anatomical constructs for sciences of all sorts. Boring. Hey, what's my guitar doing out here?
Your mother and I convinced you to give it up, remember? Rock and roll music is frowned on by the Brown administration. It sets a poor example for all the kids who look up to you as a model of studiousness and moral gravity. And besides, you're not very good.
Oh, right. Okay. You shouldn't have taken away my guitar, Dad. Rock and roll is my destiny.
Trust your father on this one. I may not know much about music, but I know enough to know that you don't know much about music.
Come on, Dad. I need that guitar.
Give me one good reason why I should give it back to you.
Because music is good for you. It improves your mental performance.
Then take up the piccolo. Leave the electric guitar to the rebels and malcontents.
A certain girl is only gonna like me if I can play the guitar.
A certain girl? You don't mean...
Jennifer.
Oh, Martin. Why are you fixated on that little hellion? She's nothing but trouble.
Yeah, my kind of trouble.
And besides, the way you play guitar, you're only gonna drive her further Go ahead, son. Do your worst.
Thanks, Dad.
Hey, I hear you got hit with some more demerits, Nathan. Good on you, I say. Sure.
Dad? Yo, Dad!
Huh? Oh, hello, son. What's on your mind?
Okay, Dad, we need to talk. Well, I'll leave you to your snooping.
Supervising, son, supervising.
I'll leave you to it.
Right.
Hey, Demerit. Hey, what for? Insufficiently polished shoes.
Attention, citizens! This domicile is in violation of Civic Ordinance CZ-36 and has been placed in protective quarantine until corrective measures can be taken. Please back away from the house and have a nice day.
What the hell?
Don't violate the perimeter, son.
Hey, I hear you got hit with some more Demerit.
Effective against moths, mosquitoes, and tannins.
What's the problem, citizen?
Everything's perfectly all right now. We're fine. We're all fine now, thank you. How are you? Mom? Mom, are you drinking again?
Don't be silly, dear. Booze is illegal, you know.
Yeah, Mom. It's just that Dad mentioned.
Your father. Why, I just can't get away from his prying eyes. Always spying, always watching. You mind your own business, George.
Now, Lorraine, this is for your own good. I know you're keeping a secret from me.
It's mine to keep.
Dad! Mom! Knock it off, you two!
Now, you listen here, young man. This is an adult matter between your mother and me.
Dad, I know, but your way isn't working. You gotta give her some space here.
Huh? Where'd she go?
Mom?
Aha! I knew it. What is that in your hand? Rum? Gin? A wine cooler?
For your information, it's brass cleaner. I have a job to do here, you know.
Lorraine?
No.
Mom? I feel like I don't know anybody anymore.
Well, Martin, that could be a sign you need to get out more.
Is there any way I could talk to Citizen Brown?
Oh, you know how difficult that is, Martin. The great man spends so much time coming up with new rules and demerits that he barely has time to talk to us anymore. I guess that's the price we pay for a safe, happy city.
So he doesn't see anyone?
Not unless someone starts rolling up the demerits. He still takes a personal interest in those situations. And of course you could talk to Mrs. Brown.
Clara?
No, silly. Edna.
Edna Strickland?
Mm-hmm.
Wait, Doc, Citizen Brown is married to Edna Strickland?
Did you get a bump on the head or something? They've been happily married for nearly 40 years. In fact, if you ask me, I think Edna wears the pants in the relationship. She's the one always announcing the day-to-day bulletins. Probably writes them herself.
I need to sit down. What do you think of Jennifer, Mom?
Well, she certainly looked like quite a handful, dear. I was really hoping some of her, joie de vivre would have rubbed off on you.
What do you mean by that?
Well, Martin, you can be a little uptight sometimes.
Jeez, don't sugarcoat it, Mom.
Well, maybe you needed to hear it. There's nothing wrong with having priorities in life. Just maybe Jennifer should have been a little higher on your list.
Yeah, she should.
Well, you did buy that guitar. That's a step in the right direction. Women love musicians. Just keep practicing and I'm sure you'll get better.
What are you talking about? I'm a great musician.
That's the spirit.
Jen's dad doesn't seem to like me very much.
He's just a little stressed out, dear. Filling the crime-stomping shoes of his legendary father makes poor Danny Jr. a little twitchy.
So I see.
But he gets the job done. Between him and his father, Hill Valley's been as dry as the Sahara Desert for decades now. Unfortunately.
Dry. Doc was right. We did overdo it. Biff seems, unusually mellow.
Well, he should be. He just finished the Citizen Plus program. So far, it looks like it's done him a world of good.
You don't think he seems a bit off? I mean, he's so un-Biff.
Well, isn't that the point? You remember what he used to be like? He was an unholy terror.
He wasn't that bad.
Now, sure, but you should have seen him in high school.
I can imagine. All right, let's talk about something else.
Alrighty, dear.
Is it just me, or does Hill Valley feel really strict today?
Some might even call it stifling. But you didn't hear that from me.